Hey everybody, hope you're all well. Just want to say a massive thank you for anybody who's joined the live webinar today. Even though I know this is free, by you taking the 90 minutes that you're taking today to spend in this webinar, it's going to put you ahead of 99% of coaches. And my goal with this webinar is very, very simple: to provide you as much value as you possibly can so you can scale your coaching business to 10K per month and beyond. So I'm going to jump into the presentation now. I'm sure there's people still joining. And if people join late, they'll just pick up where we were at. And again, it's going to be recorded, and the recording will be sent straight into the WhatsApp group afterwards. Okay. Also, with this webinar structure, as I mentioned in the group chat, it's you won't be able to see yourselves on it, and obviously you won't be able to ask questions like out loud. But there's going to be a questions box in the Zoom chat that you can ask as many questions as you want. And I really, really encourage you to do, because the people who ask the most questions in this live training will be the ones who get the most value from it. And I'm always going to ask you to interact at certain points. Okay. And just make sure you do, because again, the more you interact, the more questions you ask, the better results you'll get from this free live webinar. And I truly believe that if you take everything I say on board today, you implement everything, that you will build a very successful online business. And I can guarantee that. Okay. So basically, I'm going to go through what you can expect in this event. So it's a 6-6 fitness formula, I should say. So it's basically the form that we use with our mentorship clients, help them scale from basically 0 to 2K upwards to 10 to 26K per month. So what you can expect: the exact 6-step system that took coach from 0 to 2K per month all the way to 10K, 26K per month, real case studies, how coaches like Mark, Amy, Molly, Luke, Steph, and Charlene achieved rapid success, proven strategies that you can apply immediately, and also there'll be plenty of Q&As at the end for you to ask any questions you may have. And as I said, I'll answer them as much detail as I possibly can to make sure you leave with as much value as you possibly can. Why this matters as well: if you're on the call right now, you're probably exactly where the 6 coaches were just a few months ago and where I was a few years ago. And that's why I think I can provide so much value to you, because again, it wasn't that long ago I was in the exact same position as the, and it was things like webinars, mentorships that got me to where I am. So that's why I'm doing this, to help you get to the next level and help you scale your coaching business to where it deserves to be. Okay, so the second slide then, I'm just going to run you through my personal story and background, because I feel that's very important. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of blowing my own horn, as you'll say, but again, I think it's important so you understand that I've been where you are. I've achieved the success with both my in-person business and my online business. So I'm speaking from a place of experience. So like a lot of you maybe watching this webinar right now, I started as an in-person PT, working long hours with no freedom, making 10 euros an hour, with the sole focus of chasing my passion. All I was passionate about was health and fitness, and I knew that was the only thing I'd enjoy. So that's why I got into it. Even though it was a badly paid job and people were trying to turn me off it, that's where I started. On the gym floor, cleaning, scrubbing, training clients for minimum wage. Then after building my reputation there, I built my own first fitness business. Okay. I built up a reputation in that gym I was working in and started my own PT company, which I managed to scale to 10K per month, and then also hired staff. Then after achieving success in my in-person business, even though I was making great money at the time, there was one thing I was missing, and I think it's an aspiration a lot of you have on this call, is freedom. Okay, so I decided I wanted to do my business online and I wanted to move to Dubai. So I actually attended a seminar from a mentor I had at the time, and that inspired me to move my business online and move abroad. I went all in on my online coaching, and then within 6 months, I gave myself the goal to get to 10K per month solely from my online coaching, and I achieved that. Then I decided to make the move to Dubai, where I still live today for the last 3 years. And then with the help of more mentors, I quickly scaled my online coaching business to the point of doing between 25 and 30K per month, usually averaging around 27K. And then obviously here I am now running a successful fitness business mentorship, where I teach clients of mine exactly how to scale their online business. Okay. And basically teach them all the lessons I learned along the way of building my own business. And over the past 9 months, the system has generated over 7 figures for our clients. Clients have scaled from between 0 to 2K per month to 10 to 26K per month in just 4 to 6 months. The 6-6 fitness formula, the formula I'm going to run you through now, is a repeatable, proven process. Okay. And the data to back it up, because I think that's very important too, because there's a lot of mentors these days who say they can do this, say they can do that, but don't have the results to back it. That's the difference with ours. We have the results. Our average client sees a return on investment within 30 days. So whatever they invest in us, within 30 days, they usually make that money back, and everything from there is purely profit. On average, our clients at 10.2K per month of their income by the end of our mentorship. And why this matters for you: if you've been stuck at between 1 and 3K per month or less and struggling for online, you simply could not be in a better place. And today I'll show you exactly how to do it. Okay, so that's just a quick introduction of who I am, what I do, what you're going to learn. Okay, so in terms of this is right for you, this is right for you if you're an online coach or a personal trainer who wants to go fully online and scale to 10 to 26K per month. You're tired of guessing what will get you there and want a proven system that works. You're coachable and truly committed to executing these steps I'll teach you today. This is not for you if you're looking for a quick get-rich scheme, because there's a lot of false promises on it these days. But what I can promise is I'll teach you everything you need to know in terms of scaling an online business, and you're unwilling to invest in yourself and take action. Okay, but I'm sure nearly all of you will fall into this category here and it'll be perfect for you. Okay. There is one thing I have to be honest about. Again, full transparency, I made all the mistakes you could think of, and I've done so much wrong when I was first starting out. And that's why I feel like provides so much value to you by giving you the lessons that I learned from. I then taught myself, what if I could let all of you borrow my thousands that I spent on mentorship and the endless trial and error I went through and just give you all the information. So again, you can avoid the mistakes that I made. Now you won't have to make the mistakes that I did. Okay, and again, you're going to follow the footsteps of coaches like Mark, Amy, Molly, Luke, Steph, and Charlene to get to 10 to 26K per month, because I truly believe any coach who's willing to put in the work, willing to have a strategy in place, it is possible for them to get there. And a quote that I love is, your bank account is a direct reflection of how fast you move. The ones who achieve the most success from this webinar will be the ones who take action right away. They'll watch this webinar, they'll implement the 6 steps I'm going to go through with you now, and they'll be the one to achieve rapid success like my clients did. Okay. So the reason you're on this call with me today, so you'll probably relate to this. Maybe you've no game plan, so you've no freedom. You're stuck up between 1 and 2K per month with no proven game plan. You're working hard and not seeing results because of this. You're seeing other coaches make great money every day, wondering how they're doing it. And you're doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. And what happens if you don't fix this? You're missing out on an opportunity, first of all. There's a huge amount of opportunity in the fitness industry these days. A lot of people like to think it's saturated, but again, there's so many people in the world today who need help with their fitness. They're struggling with their weight. They're struggling to build muscle, whatever it may be. So there's so much opportunity there too. And it's very easy to stand out once you have a system in place. Also, if you don't fix it, you're going to continually to be financially stressed, which is not a nice feeling. Okay. And you're never going to scale past between 2 and 3K per month. Okay. Then, okay, the core promise, what I promise to give you from this webinar is, if you implement everything I tell you, you'll have freedom. You'll have the freedom to finally travel and enjoy life and make good money. You'll scale your business to 10K to 26K per month, depending on where you're starting from. And you'll have a proven game plan, a system that you can execute on every single day. That's what we're going to cover today. The exact 6-step system that is transforming the lives of fitness coaches, how to get predictable results fast, and the step-by-step system that Mark, Amy, Molly, Luke, and Steph, and Charlene used to go from stuck at between 0 to 2K per month, maybe like a lot of you now, to over 10K per month and upwards towards 26K per month. And the only difference between them and you is having a proven system that works time and time again, and one-to-one daily support. Okay, so basically what I want to say is why this formula works. It covers everything step by step, how to scale to 10 to 26K per month. It's customized to every fitness coach that utilizes it. There's no coach is the same, and I will use different things with different coaches and use different steps at different stages with coaches, but we're going to do our best today to identify where you're at, and again, give you the steps that you need to take to scale your coaching businesses. Okay. And then only focus on the highest level actions, so no time is wasted. Okay. Because even me, when I think back a few years ago, I was wasting so much time on the wrong tasks. And by identifying what I need to focus on to actually grow my business, that's when I've really started to grow. Okay. So basically, pillar 1, the marketing method. Okay. Most coaches fail at step 1. Okay. And this is the most important part, because without this, all the other steps they won't work. Okay. So most coaches fail at step 1 because they're speaking to everyone and attracting no one. They're posting random content that doesn't position them as an authority. They have no proven CTA strategy to start conversations. They have no assets in place to engage leads and book calls. And they're sending sales DMs, not leading with value. I'm sure a lot of you probably got sales DMs in the past and you probably don't respond to them. So why would you send those messages? Okay. And I'm going to chat through how to do messaging as well later in the presentation. Okay. Now, what we need to do instead, it's a 5-step process. We need to optimize your Instagram profile. You need to present yourself correctly to your ideal customer. You need to dial in your messaging to attract the right people, what demographic you're targeting, what their desires are, what their pain points are, what their beliefs are. You need to have a consistent content strategy post content that gets engagement and leads by solving their core problems. You need to have a call to action strategy, both direct and indirect. I'm getting down to more detail in a second. And this is going to turn engaged leads into conversations and book calls. And you also need a DM strategy and sales assets. Okay, reach out to everyone who engages with your content by sending them value, by starting conversation with them and turning them into booked sales calls. Okay, so what I want you to do now with this is, if you feel you've everything here nailed, I want you to type 1 into the chat box. If you feel you're missing a lot of these things, I want you to simply type 2, just to get a gauge of where everyone's at with their coaching business. Okay, so if everybody could type that in, that'd be great. And then I'm going to run through the step 1 in terms of optimizing your Instagram profile. Okay, so in terms of your Instagram profile, there's a few things you need to focus on, because what I like to say these days is your Instagram profile is basically your landing page. Okay, it's where people go and they see you as basically a potential coach for them. People don't browse website these days, which is why I'm so against coaches paying for websites, so on and so forth. You need to set up your Instagram profile to appeal to your target audience. So how do we do this? We have a professional profile photo. So it should be a good profile photo, ideally a headshot, okay, with a bright background so it stands out. Okay, you need to have a clear and targeted bio. Your bio should say exactly what you do and who you help. For example, I help busy professionals lose 20 pounds in 90 days. It could be I help busy moms lose 20 pounds while still enjoying their favorite foods, so on and so forth. Whoever you help, that should be in your bio, and it should explain exactly what you do, okay, and what they should expect if they work with you. You need to have strategic highlights. In my opinion, you should have 2 highlights. One, outlining your journey, okay, what your journey has been so far, and also then your client wins. Because people go onto that, see who you are, see what you've done, and also see all your social proof. Then there should also be a call to action. Okay, so ideally you'd have an opt-in form where they can get some free resources, or you could say DM me the word X to access a guide, or it could even be a direct call to action, DM me the word info to apply for coaching. You need to have a clear call to action, because if you start nailing your marketing, you're going to get a lot of new eyeballs onto your page, okay? And then people will know exactly what to message you if they do want to inquire. Now, my preference is to give free resources, because I'm a massive believer whoever gives the most value are the ones who win in the end. So make sure you have all this set up. Okay, so professional profile photo, a clear and targeted bio, strategic highlights, and a call to action then in your bio. Okay. Now, step 2, what you need to focus on is dialing in your messaging. Okay, you need to nail your messaging to attract high quality leads. You've probably heard a lot of people say this before. I'm sure you have, that you need to identify your ideal customer, but a lot of coaches still don't take it seriously. I've lost count of how many coaches said to me in the past that they want to work with everyone, or they want to help everyone, and they don't want to alienate other people. The problem with that is no one knows what you specialize in, and they will go to the person who can solve their specific problem. So the first thing you need to do is get very clear on who you're trying to help. Is it busy moms? Is it busy dads? Is it busy professionals? Is it lads who want to build muscle? Is it bodybuilders? So on and so forth. That's the first step you need to focus on in terms of your marketing. Okay. Then you need to find out their desires, their current pain points, beliefs, fears, and objections. Also, as well, an important thing to note is, if you are struggling to identify your ideal customer, what I want you to do is think of you in the past. Okay. So you could rewind, let's say 3 or 4 years. What did you struggle with? What fears did you have? What objections did you have? And then you're speaking from experience. So if you're someone who's went through weight loss transformation, as an example, you should target people who want to lose weight. If you're a lad who's built a crazy amount of muscle the last few years, you can speak from experience and help people who want to build muscle. Then it'll make it much easier in identifying their desires, their pain points, beliefs, fears, and objections. Okay. Then you're going to tailor your messaging towards them, or your content, and address all of the above. Okay. So another thing I want everyone to do in terms of interaction is type in your ideal customer into the chat box as well. Is it bodybuilders? Is it busy dads? Is it busy professionals? Type it in, okay? Because that's the first step you need to take in terms of nailing your messaging and nailing your marketing. Because without this, you're not going to go very, very far. And it's always the first thing I focus on with my mentorship clients, okay? Step 3 then, as we all know how important content is, you need a consistent content strategy. And you need to post content that solves your ideal customers' core problems, okay? Creating content is essential, as you're always going to keep top of mind. What I always say, attention is the most important thing these days. the more attention you have on you, the more sales you're going to make. You're probably all sick of seeing me on your feed, but that's meant to be that way. Because again, I'm a full believer, whoever provides the most value is the one who wins in the end. The more often they interact with you, the more likely the more they know, like, and trust you. Okay. And simply posting consistently isn't enough. You have to be solving their core problems. And whenever I have a client that comes to me, as I said, we'll identify the real customer and then we'll design a content strategy for them that digs into their pain points, digs into their struggles, and provides solutions to their problems. This will then position you as an authority and the natural solution to their problems. They'll keep seeing your content, they'll keep resonating with it, you'll keep finding them value, and eventually they will buy from you. Okay. So that's step 3, is a consistent content strategy. Okay. Then with your content strategy, as I said, just posting consistently simply isn't enough. A content strategy I like to use, okay, I'm going to send this into the group chat afterwards, is Mondays, you're going to share a client win with a call to action. I'm going to chat through a call to action in a second. So it could be a client transformation. If you're a coach starting out and you've no transformations as of yet, utilize your own journey instead. Okay. Tuesday then could be an educational reel. Okay. Could be around nutrition, could be around training. Wednesday could be an educational reel around training and nutrition as well. Thursday, then you're going to plug a free resource. Could be a fat loss guide, could be a muscle building guide, whatever's aligned with your target audience. Friday could be an update on your own journey. Then Saturdays and Sundays, I like to go more personal because that's very important too. The goal with your content is to provide value to people, showcase social proof, and also show that you're a human too, because people do buy into people at the end of the day. And I'm a massive believer in that. So to recap on that, step 1, you need to optimize your Instagram profile. Step 2, get very clear on who you're trying to target. And then step 3, you need a consistent content strategy that solves their problems, digs into their pain points, manages their objections, so on and so forth. And then you'll start generating leads from your Instagram profile. Okay. Step 4 then, which is what a lot of coaches neglect, is a direct and indirect call to action strategy. Okay. All of my mentoring clients follow the exact same content schedule, which includes 2 types of CTAs. So there's 2 CTAs. There's a direct call to action, okay, and there's an indirect call to action. A direct call to action is where you actively put your offer out there and ask for clients. An example of this is I'm looking for 3 men who want to achieve X goal in X time frame. DM me your keyword if you're interested. So for example, I'm looking for 3 men who want to shred body fat, build muscle, and gain confidence in the next 90 days. DM me your info to apply. You're going to share that after you post some social proof on your stories. This is a great way to get direct inquiries into your business every single week. I like to do them on Mondays. Then on Thursdays, to break up your call to actions, you're going to do an indirect call to action. And the goal here is to start conversations and just generate interest in general. You could share a free resource in your story. For example, what I do with all my clients is, depending on who their ideal customer is, I'll create a free guide with them to solve their biggest problems. It could be a fat loss guide. It could be a muscle building guide. It could be eating out guide. And we'll post them consistently to get people to DM them, to receive them. That starts a conversation. That starts building up trust and builds a relationship with that person. If you don't have any guides yet, but I strongly recommend you do start creating them, you could share polls in your stories which are easy to answer to. Okay, so for example, what's your goal the next 90 days with your fitness? Build muscle, lose body fat, improve your fitness. What's your biggest struggle when trying to achieve your fitness goals? So on and so forth. Anybody who votes in these polls, then we'll start a conversation with them, nurture them with the conversation, give them some free value, and get them booked in for a call. And as I said here, the main thing here is reaching out to everybody who engages with your content using the framework I'm going to chat through below. Okay. So in terms of DMs, now, a lot of people have a poor relationship with DMs. Okay. You probably all received a DM from me in the past, and it's something I used to massively struggle with myself as well. Okay. But what I would say is, if you truly believe in your service, you're doing them a disservice by not reaching out to them. There's a right way to do DMs and there's a wrong way to DMs. You probably all received the DMs in the past of these cold, salesy people. You don't want to do it like that. That's the wrong way to do it. What you want to do is obviously reach out to everybody who engages with your content and pre-sell them before calls. So everybody who engages your content, whether it's new followers, post likers, story viewers, story engagers, you must have a value-driven approach when sending DMs, okay? Most coaches have the intention of selling them on the program. The goal with your DMs is to get them booked in for a call, not to sell your coaching through DMs, okay? The DMs are to nurture people, build up trust people, have a genuine conversation, find out their goals, their struggles, Then you're going to arrange a call with them to figure out a solution to their problem, and you'll sell them into the coaching on the call. A mindset shift, which is very important in terms of DMs, is thinking, how can I provide the most amount of value to them? Okay, so when you're reaching out to people, there's a framework I like to follow, okay, called the ACA framework. That's acknowledge, compliment, and ask. You're going to acknowledge where you found them, give them a personalized compliment, and ask them a genuine question. So, for example, let's say someone called John liked my post. I'd say, hey, John, really appreciate supporting my latest post. I'll then go onto his profile and find something I can compliment him about. Seeing you train in X gym, look sick. How long you've been training for? When you give them a personalized compliment like that, it makes the person much more likely to respond because they almost feel obligated to do it. Okay. Then as well, okay, as the conversation moves forward, you can start sending them free guides. If they tell you their goal is to build muscle and you have a building muscle guide created, you could simply send them a guide to do with building muscle, and that builds up a lot of trust. Okay. And then naturally, in return, they'll want to pay you eventually because you're the one that's giving them free value. Okay. You're the one that's building up trust with them. And the more you personalize your messages, the more success you will have. Don't just be copying, pasting the same message to everyone. That doesn't work. You need to be a lot more personal with your approach. Okay. Client example, Mark and Amy, before they started with myself, they were speaking to everyone with their content, not leaving a value or solving any real problems. Then what I done with them is I got them to hone in on their messaging. I got Mark to target busy dads. I got Amy to target busy moms. And once they started doing that, creating free guides to solve their problems, having conversations with these people, post the right kind of content, within 3 months, we got from 2K per month to 10K per month. And obviously, we went further since then, following other strategies. But that was a big reason we scaled our business from 2K per month to 10K per month, just by dialing in their content, dialing their messaging, giving them free access to give it to people in terms of guides. And that was a massive, massive, massive factor in terms of scaling them to 10K per month from 2K. Okay. The next thing I want to chat through as well before I get into this is sales. Okay. Because obviously, if you nail the marketing, you nail your content, you nail your DMs, you're posting free resource, you're doing your call to actions, you're going to start getting a lot of calls booked in. And one thing I've noticed coaches struggle with massively is selling. Okay. They have a very, very bad relationship with selling. Okay. Because they either don't believe in themselves or they don't believe in their service. Okay. But what I would say, if you're giving amazing service to people, you deserve to charge what you're worth. Okay. Charging extremely low prices, for one, will attract the wrong people who won't commit to your program. And number two, will make it very, very hard to scale your business. Okay. So what I want you to do, what I do with my clients, is a cash flow offer. A cash flow offer simply means charging upfront payments for your coaching. The reason I'm a massive fan of this is, number one, it increases cash flow in your business. Number two, it leads to having more committed clients. And number three, then you can always downsell them to a monthly run subscription if they can't finance the upfront payment. That way, you have great sales coming in and also great monthly recurring revenue coming into the business. Okay. And that leads to a very good business then. So what I want you to start doing is start positioning yourself and charging what you're worth. So start charging based on value, not fear. If you're a coach who gives extreme value with your service, great nutrition plans, great training plans, the one-to-one support is amazing, you're achieving great results, you deserve to charge a premium price because you are changing someone's life with your service. Okay. Then as well, you need to have upsell and downsell strategies. So the goal here is to maximize cash collection per client. So I'm a massive believer in charging upfront payments. Okay. Because again, as I said, increases cash flow in your business, leads to more committed clients, but also makes it much easier to scale your online business. And the online business world in general is a lot more volatile. People tend to come and go a lot quicker, which is why it's so important to charge upfront payments. But there's no fear of charging upfront payments because you can always downsell them to a monthly rolling subscription. And the key to this is just mastering sales. Okay. Because so many coaches focus on selling the wrong way. They're talking about the features, the apps they use, how great of a coach they are. The client does not care. I can promise you that. All the client cares about is, can wherever the coach is get me from point A to point B. So you need to master on selling in results and emotion. After this call as well, if you want a full sales call framework, just text in the group chat saying sales, and I'll send you a full sales call framework to follow. But you need to master selling in results and emotion. All you need to go through on a sales call is the number one goal, the number one struggle, okay? Why the goal is so important to them. If you cover them in great detail and get the prospect to open up to you, more times than not, you will close that deal. Okay. But again, I will send everybody who ask for the sales call framework after this, which is to master selling on results and emotion. And a big reason why coaches struggle to make more money is they're charging too little. I spoke to so many coaches who are charging like 100 euros per month, even maybe 150 euros per month. And the problem with that is, let's say, for example, you're charging 100 euros per month. To get to 10K per month as a coach who charges that, you need 100 clients paying you every single month. And of course, that's possible, but it's a lot to manage. It's very, very hard to do. And also as well, clients who pay you less are usually the ones who are less committed and don't get results, and it'll drop off very, very quickly. So stop pricing based on self-doubt and start pricing based on value. Okay. And what I will say as well, the more sales calls you do, the better you'll get at them. Okay. So again, a big thing with our client, Molly. Okay. So a good example of this, she was charging 100 euros per month before she started with us for online coaching. She's making about 800 per month. She had 18 clients. We then mastered her sales skills. Okay. Got her to charge more upfront payments, and that led her to scaling to 12K per month and beyond that now. Okay. So what I want you to do is master sales. Okay. Improve your relationship with it. Start charging upfront payments. Have a downsell method as well. So if people can't finance the upfront payment, you sell them into a monthly rolling subscription. Okay. And if you do that, you're going to massively increase the cash flow in your business and start making a lot more money per call, which is a huge thing. Okay. As well, a very important thing in terms of sales is knowing how to manage objections. Okay. So a big struggle coaches have is when objections come up, they simply just don't know how to manage them. Okay. So what I want you to do in the chat, if you can, is if you type in the most common objections you face, I'll give you the exact answer for them. But in general, there's only 5 objections you'll face: financial, time, I need to speak to my partner, I'll start when, okay, and also a belief issue. So I don't know if this will work for me. And in my opinion, they're all very easy to manage, okay? The most common one you're going to face is financial, okay? If someone told me they can't afford my program, instead of just panicking and saying, oh, no problem, I'll simply try to break that belief. I'd simply ask them, if all my program did was got you to your exact goal, would you consider it worth it? They're going to say, yes, of course it is. Then I'll simply offer them a money back guarantee. I'll simply say, well, lucky for you, if you do commit to my program and don't get the exact results you want, I'll refund you 100% of your money back. So there's no risk your end. And if they still object to that, we'd simply downsell them to a monthly rolling subscription. So for example, let's say you said the price to work with me is 800 euro for 16 weeks, and they genuinely could not afford that at the time. I'd simply downsell them to a monthly rolling subscription of 250 euros per month to get the sale over the line. The way I'd frame that, I'd say, absolutely no problem at all. I don't usually do this, but I don't want finances to be the only reason you don't sign up to this program. How about we do a monthly rolling subscription of 250 euros per month? A very important thing as well is always incentivize your upfront payment. So obviously 250 euro per month for 4 months or 16 weeks works out to be 1,000. If they pay upfront, they get it for 800. So you're always going to incentivize the upfront payment to get as much cash flow into the business as we possibly can. Okay. So again, if anybody wants to type in any more objections, feel free to. I'll answer them as well. But financial is always going to be the biggest one you'll face. And it usually always ties back to that. Even if someone said to me, I need to speak to my partner, I'd simply ask them what they feel their partner wouldn't approve of. Then they're usually going to say, I run the finances by them. Then you just manage that finance objection like you manage the one I just mentioned above. Okay. And if you can master sales, know how to manage objections, okay, start charging upfront payments, all the leads you start generating through your marketing, you're going to close most of them. And that leads to a very, very good business, because your business will not survive without sales. So if you don't take it seriously, I'm a full believer that you don't take business seriously. You need to learn how to master sales. And again, if you're a great coach and you give a great service, you're genuinely changing people's lives, so you deserve to charge what you're worth. Okay. So next step, as I said, the cash flow offer, start setting up front payments, master sales, know how to manage objections. Okay. And have a downsell strategy in case people can't finance the upfront method. Then you'll have big upfront payments coming in, and also monthly retainers coming in. And that's a very, very good business. As I said, our client Molly is a great example of that. She was charging way too cheap. We mastered our sales. Okay. Got to charge upfront payments. And that was a big, big factor in terms of our scaling to 12K per month from less than 2K within just 4 months. Okay. The next thing then, so as I said, marketing, sales calls. Obviously, then as you start getting a lot of clients to your business, pillar three is then client success. Okay, so client success is extremely important, or we could call it client retention. Okay, and the way I like to frame it is actually something I learned from my mentor in the past is the three R's. So you want to give a service which gets you remembered, referred, and also retained. Okay, so give a great service that people remember, get referrals from those people, okay, by giving them such good service, and also retain them long term. Okay, and in terms of retention, there's a few things you need to focus on, which a lot of coaches neglect. Number one is a community. Okay, so for example, a community, it could be a Facebook group, it could be a WhatsApp group, it could be live weekly Zoom calls. Just having a community aspect to your coaching is massively important. An example I like to give is there's a reason, let's say, HYROX classes are so popular right now. Fitness class in general is because people feel part of something. And when someone feels a part of something, they're a lot less likely to leave. Okay. And you want to create that with your coaching. Okay. You want to create basically a tribe of people supporting each other. And again, people will feel like your service, they can't afford not to have it. Okay. Then also a big part of this is future pacing. So when you're coaching a client, you want to keep them excited for future goals. So if you have a client, let's say right now, who came to start a fat loss phase, and you committed to the fat loss phase, and he saw amazing results, he lost loads of body fat in 12 weeks. Throughout that process, you should be stressing the importance of a reverse diet. You should be stressing the importance of a lean gaining phase. Okay, and get them really excited, or her really excited for those goals. And then they're going to be thinking about their future with you. If you don't bring up these things, you don't future pace them, they will likely leave. Okay, to keep them excited and keep them excited for what's to come, because a client who's guessing what to come is a client who leaves. Okay, and then obviously as well, a massive thing is giving them a great service, which should be a non-negotiable. Okay, and delivering on your promise and getting them the results that you promised them. That's how I built my coaching business at the start, was just being a great coach, giving a great service, getting people really good results. But that only got me so far. Obviously, I have to focus on the other things too. But you need to start with this. You need to be a great coach, get great results. Okay. Otherwise, you get clients in the door, but they'll leave you quickly. Okay. A huge strategy I use then with all my mentoring clients, which is a massive reason for a lot of their success, is milestone calls. Okay. So a milestone call is basically a call you're going to do with your clients about 4 weeks before they finish their program. And why I do it 4 weeks before they finish their program is because this is when motivation is its highest. They're seeing great results and their mindset's still on the coaching. If you wait to the end of this time to do the call, the end of their package, their mindset's already gone off the coaching. They're thinking about life after your coaching. So you need to catch them when their motivation is really high. So what you're going to do on this call, as I said, 4 weeks before your clients finish, is get them on a call, chat through how well they're doing, get them excited for future goals, and give them an irresistible offer there and then to resign. So let's say, for example, someone signed up to a 16-week program with you for €800. What you're going to do on week 12 is get them on a call, as I said, chat through how well they're doing, get them excited for future goals, and get them an irresistible offer to resign. So, for example, if someone done a fat loss phase with you, okay, they finished 16 weeks, on the call at week 12, 4 weeks before they finish, you're going to chat through what the next steps are after week 16. So, the reverse diet, the lean gaining phase, and get them very, very excited for that. Then you're going to say you have an offer, okay, for 3 people this month to renew their package for a discounted price. So, let's say, for example, as I said, they paid you €800 for 16 weeks originally. You'll offer them another 16 weeks with maybe a month free or some money off. So it could be €700 for 16 weeks. And if you catch them when their motivation is really high, they're very likely to re-sign there and then. It's very rare someone said no to me when I used to do this in my coaching business, and all my clients in mentorship are seeing massive success with it. It's great for keeping clients long term. It's great for getting better results, but most importantly, it's great for cash flow in your business. Okay. Then as well, we have a referral scheme. So our referral strategy, we'll call it. Okay. So what you want to do here is every single client in your business want to get to weeks 3 or 4 and they're enjoying the service, they're seeing good results, you're going to send them all a referral scheme message. Basically saying you're offering an incentive. If they refer you business, you'll give them either a cash reward or a month's free coaching. A lot of coaches like to say that they have this in place with their clients. They may have mentioned in a check-in, but you need to send them a message. Okay. And if you want the exact message to use, simply type referral into the chat and I'll send you over the exact message to use that works time and time again. You're going to explain the referral scheme to them. Then you're going to give them an incentive to refer you new business. Okay. And this is huge for getting new clients to your business. And as well, referrals are the easiest people to sell to. Okay. Because they come to you from their friend who said you're an amazing coach. So the trust is already there. So they're very easy to sell to. So in terms of retention, as I said, building in the community, future pacing your clients, delivering on your parents, then milestone calls, keep them long-term, make more money from your current clients, and then also a referral scheme for your clients to bring you new business. If you nail all those things, you'll have clients to stay long-term, make you more money, and also refer you new business, which is exactly what you want. There's so many coaches who solely focus on the sales and marketing side of things that they forget about their current clients and how much money they can make for them. Now, obviously, it's not just about making money from your current clients. You also want to get them results. But of course, if we can use them to bring new business in by delivering them a great service, we absolutely would. Okay. And most coaches that get clients can't keep them because they're not delivering on a promise. Clients don't feel a part of something in terms of community, and have no strategy to re-sign current clients. So if you implement everything I said here, you will not struggle with that as you start growing your client base. Okay. And another great example is a client, Charlene. Before she started with us, she had no structure. Clients were leaving fast. She was struggling about 3K per month. After she implemented proper retention strategies, like the milestone calls, like the community, so on and so forth, and she quickly scaled to 10K per month from doing that. It was a big factor in it. Okay. So again, I can't stress the importance of this. Your current clients are the most important part of your business, because if you have a business where you're getting loads of clients in, but they constantly leave, you will never have a business that's in a position to scale. Okay. So you need to take this very, very seriously. Okay. So the delegation playbook. So again, the delegation playbook is irrelevant if you haven't nailed the first three things, because in terms of delegation, I wouldn't really focus on this until I was about 10K per month. But again, anybody who's nowhere near that stage yet should still listen in, because if you do implement everything I said around the first three pillars, you're going to quickly get to this like our clients, Mark and Amy, did. Okay. So again, make sure you listen up, because even if you're not there right now, you will be there fairly quickly if you follow everything I say in the first three pillars. Okay. So delegation playbook, okay, is basically a strategy that we're going to use to free up time for you to focus on the real needle movers in the business. Okay. So for example, you're going to source top talent. And what we do with our clients is we obviously train the top talent from, source them from, because we have a network for that. And one of the first people you should hire in your business is a DM setter. Okay. And what a DM setter is going to do is generate more leads and book calls to your calendar while you focus on what matters. Because with DMs, they're going to be following scripts. Okay. It's a very low leverage task and a very low skill task that you can easily just delegate to someone else. An example is even me. Most of you, 99% of you in this group chat probably received a message from me, and you probably noticed it wasn't me 99% of the time, but it could have been me. But I have someone hired to do that, because what I want to mainly focus on is obviously mentoring my clients to the best of their ability and my content, because that's my real business movers, getting results from my client and my marketing and sales. Okay. If you're so concerned with doing DMs yourself, coaching all your clients yourself, you won't have enough time to focus on your sales, your marketing, tasks that are actually going to bring clients into the business. So for example, our clients, Mark and Amy, as I said, from the first three pillars, we quickly scaled it from 2K per month to 10K per month. But we knew if we wanted to get to 20K per month and beyond, like where we are now with them, we need to start delegating tasks so they could focus on the real needle movers within their business. So what did we do? Mark and Amy are spending a lot of time in the DMs themselves to get calls booked in. So we hired a DM setter. We trained a DM setter for them to manage all their DMs so they could free up time to focus on tasks to move the business forward, aka creating more content, taking more sales calls, and just managing the business in general. Then once we got that in place, they got loads more calls booked into the calendar. And then we quickly noticed that Mark and Amy were spending way too much time doing check-ins. So what did we do? We then hired a coach. This avoided Mark and Amy doing check-ins all day, every single day. And my general recommendation for people is if you get to 50 clients, you should then hire a coach. Because if you're doing check-ins all day, every day, it's going to stop you from posting content consistently. It's going to stop you from taking sales calls. It's going to stop you from focusing on the tasks that are actually going to move the business forward. Okay. So again, if you get to 50 clients, you're making around 10K per month, you need to start delegating tasks. Okay. Even if I think of myself, it's one thing I wished I'd done sooner, because I actually didn't start delegating until I got to about 15 to 20K per month. But even at that stage, I was so overworked. I genuinely could not fit anymore into my schedule. I was run to the ground. I wasn't even enjoying what I was doing anymore because I was so focused on doing everything myself. So when you do get to the stage, of the 10K per month, delegation is the next step. And there's even delegation beyond DM setters, coaches. Even if you're struggling to get content out consistently right now, a very cheap thing you can do that'll help you massively in terms of time is hire an editor. Okay. Again, if you need an editor, just message in the group chat after this, and I'll send you editors that you can use, and they'll charge you about 10 to 20 euros per reel. Okay. So that's going to free up time for you to focus on creating content and scripting content. Then you can even hire a videographer once you start making more money. Then you can hire a setter. Then you can hire a coach. And then you're in a very, very good position and you have a very, very big business. Okay. So as I said, Mark and Amber in this exact position. They hit a wall of 10K per month, doing everything themselves, no time to scale. So what we've done, we hired a setter for them, trained in that setter to make sure they're very, very skilled at the role. That's how they get a lot more calls booked in. They quickly started scaling further. But then we noticed they were spending too much time doing check-ins. So then we hired a coach to offload some of the fulfillment to them so they could focus on the real needle movers in the business, sales, content, marketing in general. Okay, so again, some of you might be at that stage right now, but it's a very important thing to know, because when you do get to that stage, when you follow the first 3 pillars, you'll quickly need to do these things. Okay, so that's pillar 4. Pillar 5, then we have the conversion systems. Okay, so conversion systems are basically opt-in funnels, VSLs, email nurturing systems. Okay, and the goal here is to build up trust, generate more leads, and pre-sell them before they get onto a call. So I briefly mentioned at the start of this presentation about lead magnets, free guides, and the marketing pillar. Okay, so obviously before you get all these in place, you need to start creating free resources. So for example, our client Cormac, he works with busy professionals who want to lose weight. So what we started doing with him, okay, was started creating guides that were aligned with those. Fat loss guides for busy professionals, okay, eating out guides for busy professionals, so on and so forth. Then when we started posting them on our social media, and when they wanted to access them, we directed them to an opt-in funnel to collect high quality leads on autopilot. Okay, and again, what this is, they type in their name and type their email address, but also showcases social proof. So when they click in to get the free guide, they see who you are, what you do, they see the results you achieved, and they're also getting a ton of free value. So they're building up trust very, very quickly. After they opt into the free guide, then what we're going to do is direct them to a VSL, which is basically a video sales letter. So it's just basically a video of who you are, what you do, what you've helped people achieve. So again, it's building up trust and pre-selling them before the call. And after people opt in for your free guides, then after they watch this video, a lot of them will get booked in for sales calls themselves. Okay. And again, when they build up so much trust with you, they got so much free value from you, from the guides, they're very, very easy to close. Okay. So the first step of this is creating free resources. If you haven't created free resources, I can't stress enough the importance of making them. Then you're going to direct them to an opt-in page. Okay. Collect their name, collect their email address, then to a VSL. They'll watch that VSL and book in for a call. Or even if they don't book in for a call, we'll start email marketing for them. So that's what we do all our clients. We install everything for them, do the email marketing for them, and this leads to a lot of calls getting booked in. So many coaches sleep on email marketing. They don't use it, but it's a massive, massive money maker. Okay, so again, what I would say, this is a bit later in the line. Free resource should be created in general, but if let's say if you're just starting out, maybe you don't have to worry about opt-in pages just yet, but you start growing and scaling your business, and you start getting more calls booked in, this is a great way to pre-sell them and build up trust with them to close more calls. So again, our client Cormac is a great example for this. Before he started us, he was struggling about 4K per month and struggling to close calls. His biggest issue was that he couldn't close enough sales calls, even though he was getting a lot booked in. So after we implemented all these opt-in pages, VSLs, email marketing, he started closing calls with ease, and he quickly scaled to 12K per month. Okay, and again, as I said to you, every person who comes to my mentorship is different. Cormac didn't have a problem with generating leads, but he had a problem with closing calls. So this is the first thing I focus on with him, and that quickly scaled from 4K to 12K per month. Now we can look at more advanced strategies, which we're going to use in a second. But again, it completely depends on the situation you're in. If you're someone who's generating a lot of leads right now, but struggling to close calls, this is one of the main things I'd focus on with you, to pre-sell your leads and improve your close rate. Okay, so again, massively important. Okay, and the final step then in the six pillars is paid acquisition. Okay, and what I will say about paid acquisition is useless unless you've nailed the first 5 steps. I see so many coaches who come to me who maybe they said their mentor told them to do ads, or they thought they should do ads, but if you don't have a profile that's optimized to appeal to your target customer, you don't have funnels, okay, you don't have anything I said in the first 5 pillars, you're going to waste a ton of money on ads. Okay. Ads are used as a multiplier, not to start your business. If you start doing ads and start pushing them to a page, your Instagram page, for example, which isn't appealing to your ideal customer, it doesn't have social proof, it doesn't have consistent organic content providing value, you literally may as well set money on fire. Okay. So, for example, paid ads, the goal with paid ads, as I said, is to multiply, get more eyeballs on your page and get more calls booked in. But if you don't have a profile that's optimized, you're wasting your money. Okay. So, the goal with your ads, you want to create high converting ads. And what you want to do with your ads, a lot of people like to overcomplicate ads. Okay. So, the way you want to do it is look at your organic content that already performed very well and base your ads on that. Because if they worked very well organically, they're more than likely going to work well if you put money behind them. It's going to reach new eyeballs. It's going to lead to a lot of new followers on your page. It's going to lead to a lot more calls being booked in. Then what you want to do there, after you run the right kind of ads, is optimize for a return on investment. So, for example, if you have ads that are performing really well, you're simply going to put more money behind them and you're going to stop putting money on the ads that aren't performing well. Okay, ads is a lot of the time trial and error. You've probably seen ads from me. Some work well, some don't work so well, but you need to be in a position financially where you can afford that. Because if you don't, and you're just starting from scratch, you don't have much money to dispose on ads, you are going to waste a lot of money and you'll be left burnt by them. So after you nail the first 5 steps, this is what I'd focus on, is paid acquisition. It's no secret that ads are the quickest way to scale your business if you have everything set up correctly and have everything optimized before this in terms of the first 5 pillars. Okay, so create high converting ads based on content that's already performing well organically. Then look at what ads are performing well, put more money behind them, and that's why it's so important to track them. And that's what we do in our mentorship. We script and run your ads for you and also track what's performing well, okay, and tell you where to delegate your money to. And then you're going to drive your leads to conversion systems. Basic conversion systems I mentioned here. Okay, so the opt-in pages, the VSLs, so on and so forth. Then that's going to build up trust really quickly, because the thing with ads is they're coming to you, they don't really know you yet. They might have saw one video. So obviously you want to build up that trust as quick as you possibly can. So giving them a free resource, like a free guide, showing them a VSL of who you are, what you do, who you helped, is going to build up trust with these people very quickly. And when they do get on calls, then it's a lot easier to close these people. Okay, so that's basically the 6-step framework I follow with my clients. So we have the marketing method number 1, which is step number 1. You can't move anything or move forward to anything until you nail this. So you nail your marketing method, you nail your content, you nail your CTAs, you nail your DMs, you start putting the free resources out there. That's going to lead to a lot of calls being booked into your calendar. Then you're going to focus on your sales, your cash flow offer, okay, pitching upfront payments, mastering your sales skills. Then once you have loads of clients coming in, you're going to master client success, keeping clients longer and increasing their lifetime value. Then when you get to 10K per month, you're going to focus on the delegation playbook, free up time with setters and coaches so you can focus on the real need movers in your business. Then conversion systems to automate lead nurturing and book more calls. Then you have paid acquisition, scale beyond organic reach with profitable ads. So that's in summary how the 6 pillars work. Okay, the 6-6 fitness formula. So before I move on to anything else, there's going to be a Q&A at the end as well. But if anybody's any questions right now, feel free to pop them in. I'll answer with as much detail as I possibly can. So feel free to answer any questions, ask any questions you have. And as I said, this is the exact formula Mark, Amy, Molly, Luke, Steph, and Charlene used to go from stuck at 0 to 2K per month to anywhere between 10K and 26K per month within just a few months. Okay, so if anybody's any questions around any pillar here, feel free to fire them now and I'll answer them to the best of my ability. And don't be hesitant to ask a question. There's no such thing as a stupid question, and I'm here to provide you as much value as I can. Okay, if nobody has any questions, though, I'll move on. Okay, nobody's any questions though? Any questions? Go ahead. Okay. Stephen Hill, in regards to current clients, what would you recommend doing to get them onto an offer for my coaching service? So in terms of your new clients, or your clients who are with you currently, as I said in the pillar in terms of retention, the key to keeping your clients long-term and retaining them long-term and get them signed to a new package is a milestone call. So make sure you keep future pacing them, okay? Get them excited for future goals. Then 4 weeks before they finish their program, you will get them on a call, chat through how well they're doing, okay? Get them excited for future goals and give them an irresistible offer there and then to resign, okay? So for example, get them on a call 4 weeks before, as I said, chat through how well they're doing, future pace them, excited for future goals, give them an irresistible offer there and then to resign. Okay, so for example, if they paid you, let's say €600 for 12 weeks, you'll offer them a chance to resign for another 12 weeks, 4 weeks before their package ends for, let's say, €500. So they're getting money off and they're already seeing good results. So it'll really be stupid there for them not to take. Okay, so that's how you'd sell current clients the new packages. Again, Stephen, after this call, if you give me a DM on Instagram with the word milestone or just simply ask me, I'll send you over the exact framework to use. Okay. Any more questions here? Just me. 2 seconds there now. Brendan said, what image would you use for CTA on a story? So in terms of a call to action, as I said, there's a direct call to action and there's also an indirect call to action. So a direct call to action, if you're talking about that, Brendan, you're either going to share a client transformation or your own journey. So if you've no client transformations yet to post, share your own transformation. And then, as I said, with the captions here, look for 3 men to achieve X, Y, and Z in the next 90 days, and then DM you a keyword to apply. So for example, knowing for I know of you, Brendan, you target lads who want to build muscle, shred body fat, you're into kind of body transformations. So I'd simply say, share your own transformation, you going from where you were, maybe skinny to jacked like you are now. I look for 3 men who want to build muscle, shred body fat, and gain confidence in the next 90 days. DM me the word grow to apply. And it could be a picture of your own transformation, or even better again, a picture of a client transformation. Client transformations will always work better. Okay. But again, if you don't have any just yet, use your own journey. Mitch asked what are the best systems to use if you're just starting out with your business to create free guides. So in terms of free guides and creating them, you can simply use Canva. So Canva is a great tool to use in terms of creating your free guides. There's many sorts of free guides you could do. Okay, many form of lead magnets you can do. So for example, I'm doing a lead magnet right now. So I'm giving free value. People are on a call with me, and in general, you're taking a lot of value. So that's a free lead magnet in general. But in terms of creating a free guide, like a fat loss guide, a muscle building guide, you can simply use Canva to create a guide. Okay, just make sure it looks professional, it looks slick, but also as well, what you could simply do for a very cheap price is pay a graphic designer to do it for you, and he'll create it very, very professional for you. But again, if you don't want to make that, let's say, investment, you could simply just do it yourself on Canva. Okay. Amy says, if someone asks if I can't afford your coaching, what is the best response? So if someone asked me, and someone said to me, sorry, that they can't afford my coaching, I'd simply ask them the question, if this program got you to your exact goal, obviously insert whatever the goal is in that, would you consider the investment worth it? Okay. They're more than likely going to say yes. Okay. Because nine times out of 10, they actually have the finances available. They just don't believe that the service is going to work for them. So then you simply offer them a money back guarantee. So after asking them if the program got them the exact results they wanted, would they consider it worth it? And they say yes, you'd simply say, if my program doesn't get you the exact results you want, I will send you 100% of your money back. So there's no risk your end. Okay. That's how you'd manage a financial objection. As I said, if they're still objecting to finances, okay, you'd simply offer them a monthly rolling subscription. So always pitch your upfront payment first. And if they object to that, always have a downsell strategy ready to go. So for example, Amy, I'm not sure your pricing, but let's say, for example, you charge €800 for 16 weeks. You'd simply offer them that first. And then if they genuinely can't afford it, you break their objections, but they still can't afford it, you'd simply downsell them to a monthly rolling subscription of €250 per month, for example. And the way you'd frame that is you simply say, I don't usually do this, but I don't want finances to be the only reason you don't start with me and get to your goal. How about we do a monthly roll subscription of €250 per month so you can get started on the program and start seeing the results that you want. Okay. Anthony asks, he finds it hard to keep current clients fully locked in. So interested, any tips? So the first thing here, Anthony, is obviously, I'm not sure what you're charging in terms of your coaching prices, but again, what you need to make sure is that you're charging a price where they actually value it. Because if you're charging a very cheap price, like I said at the start of the webinar, let's say €100 per month, the investment isn't enough for them to actually care that much. So the first step is actually nailing your pricing, okay, charging a more premium price so they're really bought into the service. Then obviously, I probably don't need to say this, but again, I'll stress the importance of it is actually giving them a great service, having touch points with them throughout the week. So for example, if your client's checking with you every single week on a Sunday, I'd make sure I have a touch point with them midweek. I'd simply send them a message. How are they getting on? Do you have any questions for me? So they feel like you care, because you do. And then, as I said, the key then is just future pacing them. Okay. Keep them excited for what's to come, because a client who leaves is usually a client who's second guessing what's to come next. So keep them excited for future goals. So if someone's in a fat loss phase right now, keep stressing the importance of a reverse diet, keep stressing the importance of going to a lean gaining phase, and that's going to keep them tied in long term. And as I said, if they're in a package due 4 weeks before the finish, get them on a call, the milestone call, chat through how well they're doing, get them excited for future goals, and give them an irresistible offer there and then to resign. But it all starts with your pricing, give them a great service, and then also future pacing them. And then, as I said, 4 weeks before the finish, you're going to give them an offer to resign there and then when their motivation's high. Okay, so that's how to keep your clients long term. It's something that a lot of people struggle with, but again, if you focus on those things, you won't have an issue keeping clients long term. Okay. Does anybody have any more questions, guys, before I move on to the next stage? I think that's everyone. But again, feel free to keep typing them in and asking questions, and I will get back to them all either at the end of it or throughout. Okay. So again, those are the 6 pillars. Okay. Any questions, keep asking. Okay. But again, I think it's very important to kind of show you that this system does work, because again, you're probably thinking, okay, you're saying everything, but how do I know it works? So we've helped so many coaches in the last 9 months scale their business. Okay. And you're probably thinking, will this work for me? If you're wondering, will this work for me? These case studies will prove it. Okay. And again, no matter what your starting point is, once you're willing to implement this strategy, put into work, okay, you're coachable, you'll be the exact same. So again, some of our clients had 0 clients starting out, never coached a client. Some are stuck at 1 to 2K per month, and they all scaled and built a very successful business. So the first people is obviously Mark and Amy. So before they started working with us, they were working 9 to 5s, making about 2K per month. Okay. Amy was actually was pregnant at the time, and they came to me with the goal of not having to go back to work when Amy finished maternity leave. So that's what we were focused on. But before they started working, they're speaking to everyone. They had no system to generate leads, and they had no cash flow offer in place. I knew Mark and Amy before they started me, and I knew they were great coaches. I knew it'd be very easy to scale them if I just focused on a few things. So what we focused on was hyper-focused messaging, got very clear they're trying to target. We got a consistent content strategy, which we designed for them. We build out sales assets, fat loss guides, muscle building guides for Mark, postpartum guides for Amy, fat loss guides for Amy as well to generate leads consistently. Then we mastered their sales and selling upfront packages. So for example, when Mark and Amy started with me, they had a real issue in terms of closing calls. Okay, so what I focused on them was really honing on their sales. I got them to send me sales recordings of all their sales calls. We honed in on that instead of closing deals easily. Then we hired key team members. We got 10K per month. Then conversion systems, okay, funnels, emails, and ads. And that's how we got Mark and Amy from 2K per month to 26K per month. Literally within, I think it was 7 months, we got them there. Okay, I'm just going to check if there's any more questions there. Matthew said, yeah, would you have to agree a certain amount of weight drop beforehand, for example? So is Matthew referring to the money back guarantee? 2 seconds there now. Just go back to the question. We want you to close. No, so again, if you did, so in terms of money back guarantee, you won't end up with low quality clients consistently requesting refunds, because again, you make it clear that if they don't follow the plan, they won't get the money back guarantee. Okay, and if someone genuinely does follow your plan, if you're a great coach, they will get the results that they want. Okay, so again, I've offered money back guarantees the last few years. I've never ever had one person request money back, because either they don't follow the plan and they know that, or if they do follow the plan, the results are guaranteed, because I know the service I'm going to give them is going to get them the results. So I wouldn't worry about that at all. If you offer money back guarantee, just make sure it's clear that they actually have to follow the plan, because obviously, no matter how good of a coach you are, no matter what plan you give, if someone doesn't follow the plan, they're not going to get results. But if you're a good coach and they follow the plan, they will get results. So there's no fear with a money back guarantee in terms of this. Okay. So again, keep asking the question. I'll keep getting to them. But then obviously after implementing all those things with Mark and Amy, they're now Ireland's fastest growing fitness coaches. They have a 26K per month consistently in their business. They have a business that runs itself because they have so much delegation. All Mark and Amy focus on now is a small bit of coaching, then obviously posting content and taking sales calls, and the freedom then to work to their own schedule, spend time with their children. And again, it wouldn't have been possible unless they reached out to us. Okay, and again, even with Mark and Amy, they're a great example because they actually were great coaches, but it's lacked the marketing, they lacked the sales, okay, and they lacked all the systems that they needed to scale their business. And again, once we got all this implemented, because they were such good coaches, they scaled extremely quickly. Okay. The next one then is Molly. Okay. So again, I briefly mentioned Molly at the start of this webinar. So Molly came to me. She was actually a full-time personal trainer at the time, making about 1.8K per month. She's overworked and stuck at that. She was selling 3 programs that are online, about €100 per month. And because, again, as I said, she was charging such low prices, clients weren't taking it seriously and they weren't committing to it properly. So she constantly had client drop-offs and she had an inconsistent content strategy. Okay. So what did we focus on to get her to 12K per month? Started selling bigger upfront packages by nailing our sales. Then we had milestone calls with our current clients selling into new packages, consistent quality content with trust building assets. So, for example, Molly's ideal customer was women who wanted to build their glutes, tone up, and increase their confidence. So that's all we spoke about within our content. And then we also created free guides like glute guides, fat loss guides, muscle building guides, even gut health guides as well, because Molly was constantly having questions asked by female clients who were struggling with bloating. So we created guides that are under clients' biggest problems. And that was a big reason then for us getting to 12K per month. So again, before, stuck at 1.8K per month, charging too cheap, consistent client drop off, inconsistent content strategy. Then we focus on these things, the bigger upfront packages, the milestone calls, the consistent quality content, and building out free resources. She scaled to 12K per month without ever running any type of ad. So it was all profit. Okay, so again, that's just more examples of our client Molly. Just some more questions being in. How many DMs would you want a VA to send within an hour? So again, it obviously depends on the amount of leads that you have coming to your business. But if you're doing everything correctly, you have consistent content going out, maybe you're doing some boosted posts, you have consistent new followers coming in, 10 to 20 per hour is what I'd set as a standard. So for example, with some of my clients now who I train in sellers for their business, I'd have a minimum target of 50 DMs to be sent every day to people who are actually qualified leads. So it obviously depends on the hour, because again, if you post a reel at 1 hour, okay, at a certain hour, it'll also be easier then to start conversation. But if you're very inactive on your profile, okay, it's going to make it much harder for the VA. And a lot of people like to blame VAs for doing a poor job. But in terms of VAs, it really comes down to training them incorrectly and making their job as easy as possible. So when you're hiring a VA, you'd be given SOPs, so standard operating procedures, exactly what to do every day. So for example, 50 DMs to be sent, clear your inbox, track all your leads, okay, track all your DMs, so on and so forth. Okay, and then as well, you need to make their job as easy as possible. Posting content consistently, doing your call to actions, sharing free resources, sharing polls in your story, and then your VA will be able to get a lot more messages sent out. Okay. Whale asked, what is the best system to share programs online like Trainerize or Kahunas? My recommendation, Kahunas. Trainerize isn't the best. Okay, it's not very, very good for the client who uses it. Okay, and it also lags a lot. Kahunas is much better. You can build your meal plans on it. You can build your training plans on it. Everything's automated. Okay, so you'll set up a client questionnaire initially. You'll set up your check-in forms initially. Then your clients will automatically receive them there and then. It's also a lot easier for the client to use and also the coach to use, because Kahunas is actually built by coaches who understand coaching. So Kahunas is my general recommendation for softwares in terms of your coaching business. Okay, so that'd be that. Okay, so keep asking question guides and I'll keep getting to them as much as I possibly can. Then another case study, Charlene, again, before she started, she's at 1K per month, no consistency with her content, no clear messaging, no assets or DM strategy, no upfront package for cash flow, and no retention system in place. Once we nailed her organic content, clearly defined her messaging, had a value-driven approach to her assets, so her free lead magnets and DMs, started selling more upfront packages, had milestone calls, community calls, so on and so forth. She quickly scaled to 10K per month just from doing those things alone. Okay, then we have Steph, again, before she started working with us, maybe like somebody right now, she's working 9 to 5, she's only coaching her friends and family for a very low price. She had no clear defined messaging again, no content, DM strategy or assets in place, no retention strategies, and no game plan in general to scale to 10K per month, just kind of hoping for the best. Then she actually scaled from 1K to 7K per month in just 30 days and left 9 to 5. And now after focusing on her content, her messaging, her sales assets, mastering her sales, so on and so forth, we quickly scaled her to 10K per month consistently. So again, if you're even someone who's a 9 to 5 right now, but has a passion for coaching, that's proof that you can do it too. And if I'm being completely honest, my favorite success story so far, Luke, I actually did an interview of him earlier into the chat. Luke, before he started, had 0 clients and he never coached a client. He was into the gym himself, always wanted to build a business. And he was actually probably one of the people who were most hesitant to set out to the mentorship when we did have the call with him. Okay, and that's why he feels so good to get into the position that he's in. So before, Luke was actually fitting furniture only 5-6 months ago at this stage. Never a client, was really lacking confidence with it, but he really wanted to do it, but had no belief that he could. Okay, he was terrible at technology, and he said that himself. He just didn't know how to use a laptop, didn't know how to create training plans, create nutrition plans. He had the knowledge in his head, but didn't know how to get that out of his head basically and create them online, so on and so forth. But what we focused on with Luke, he was a bit different to most. I ensured that every single client that came into his business saw success early on. So I helped Luke a lot at the start in terms of getting his clients set up, making sure their service is 5 stars. Then we started posting content consistently, okay, directed his target audience. So Luke was trying to solve people's problems in terms of, let's say, males between 25 and 35 wanted to lose weight. He also coaches female, but mainly targeting males. After 30 days, Luke made his investment back from the mentorship, quit his 95 and went all in with the coaching. And then we managed to get into 10K per month within 4 months. And I was literally starting from zero. Okay. And even as Luke said himself, I was literally starting from scratch. If I can do this, anyone can. Okay. So that's just living proof as well. And again, Luke had one thing, and that was passion for coaching. He really wanted to help people. And unfortunately, that's something I can't teach. But if you're someone like Luke who's into the gym themselves, passionate about coaching, genuinely wants to help people, I can teach you everything else. Okay. And that's why we got Luke to 10K so quickly, because again, with Luke, he was so serious about it. He was so dedicated to doing it. He got there very quickly. Okay. And in general, after going through all the case studies and all the clients' results I've got, what I've realized, even my own experience as well, when you follow a proven process, you get to your goal. It's as simple as that. Okay. If you're following someone who has experience, who's been where you want to get to, okay, and has also helped people do exactly what you're trying to do, if you follow a framework they give you, it's very unlikely you're going to fail. Okay. And again, in terms of will this work for you? So a common concern a lot of people have before they start with me, just so I can kind of hopefully break these beliefs for you and encourage you to focus on growing your businesses. Let's say you don't have a big following, you don't need one. And even myself, I'm living proof of that. I have less than 6K followers. Okay. And again, I have a massive, massive business. I built a massive PT business. I built a massive online coaching business. I built a big mentorship business now. And it's just by using my social media the right way, giving a great service, mastering my sales. Okay. And again, what we do with our clients, we focus on targeted content and outbound strategies. All our success stories started small. One of our clients, Dylan, another Dean, started with 300 followers, and Dean only had 150 followers. Now they have over 3,500 and on track for 10K per month. And I was starting with 300 followers and 150 followers. Okay. So again, we'll focus on building your following for you. Okay. But again, do not need a massive following to build a coaching business. Okay. Thing as well, a lot of people are worried about is they've tried other business mentorships and they didn't work. Unfortunately, and it kind of leaves a sour taste in my mouth as well. Most programs give generic advice. We work with you one-to-one. Okay, fully one-to-one. I teach you everything. I do the calls with you. I give you the strategy. It's completely tailored to you. And again, I hold you massively accountable. You'd probably be sick of me by the end of it, but one thing I will guarantee is if you commit to me, I'll commit even more to you and get you the results. And again, if people think they're not ready to invest, every successful client that came to me always questioned the investment. But when they saw they quickly made it back and saw where they got to, it was the best investment they ever made. Again, I'll go back to Luke. He was so hesitant to invest. He turned me down the first time. My client Dylan turned me down the first time. But now if you ask them, they'd say it's the best investment they ever made. Okay, because the investment meant a lot to them. They took the leap. Now they have a massive coaching business, which gave them freedom, okay, and gave them the life that they've always wanted. Okay, and again, the proof is there. Okay, what makes this different? I work with you one-to-one to make sure that you win. Okay, it's not just information, but real implementation. It's not one of these programs say, off you go, do this. I'm with you every step of the way. I do with you to guarantee you success. I work with you one-to-one every step of the way as direct mentorship and support to guarantee results. Okay, and I'm not sure if other clients or people in this call have been other mentorships, but if you have had a bad experience, I'm sorry for that. But what I can guarantee is with mine, you wouldn't. It's one-to-one. It's tailored to you, and you will get the results you want once you're willing to put in the work. And in terms of what you actually get inside the mentorship, you've one-to-one calls bi-weekly with me. So every 2 weeks, we'll have a one-to-one call where I'll give you a strategy to focus on. Okay, we'll update that strategy every single call, but also constant WhatsApp support with me and my head coach, Ted. Okay, so Ted works with me in the business. And I'd say if I'm on a call and I can't answer a question within a few minutes, he'll be there for you to answer a question. We also have weekly live group coaching calls for extra value. And again, the main feature of our mentorship is done for you. Okay, we do your content, we script your content for you, we give you the strategy, we train in your staff, we give you the scripts, we build out your sale assets, everything. It's literally impossible to fail if you're willing to show up to the calls and do what we say, because we do it with you. Okay, all we ask that you give us your full effort, and I guarantee you'll get ours. Okay. Now, obviously, I'm going to chat through the mentorship in general. Okay. And again, as I said to you at the start of this call, I really appreciate everybody coming onto this call today and taking the time out, because again, that puts you ahead of 99% of coaches. And I want to reward the people who have taken time today. So if you were to join my mentorship in the next 24 hours, we have some bonuses to add in for you. So for example, we build out a 7-figure sales funnel done for you. So we'll build out your sales page, so your landing page, your websites, your VSLs, everything, all completely free of charge. And if you were to pay someone to do that, that usually costs about €2,000. Okay, but we have someone in the business that does it for us. You'll also receive 1 hour kickoff call with me, 1-to-1. Okay. We also have an educational platform for our paying clients. Some of you might be in the free group already, the free school group. We also have for our pay clients, which is a lot more advanced. So you'll have access to that. Then also as well, you get a scaling calculator, okay, to track your revenue, to make sure your business is moving the direction that it should. Okay, so they're all bonuses when you join today, which are recently added to the mentorship. Okay, and again, don't get me wrong, if you have the ability, okay, and the discipline to implement everything I went through this call on your own, you will quickly scale your business. I have no doubt about that. But again, what most people struggle with, even me, when I think back to myself, is implementation. I've had a mentor every year for the last 6 years. That's the biggest reason I am where I am. Okay. And again, if you're to learn through trial and error, you could waste a lot of money, okay, just by the time you're wasting. You could hire another mentor 1-to-1. And again, as I said, maybe some of you had some bad experience with mentors, okay, but they're very, very expensive in certain cases, okay. But again, I'll stress that ours isn't that expensive. And again, it's 1-to-1, it's guaranteed results, okay. And again, if you're going to look at YouTube for advice, unfortunately, you've no accountability, okay. You've no one directing you, you've no one tailoring their approach to you. So again, unfortunately, you waste a lot of time with that. So the total value of our mentorship is 15K. The bonus is then our 7K, but don't worry, it's a lot more affordable than that. Because again, with the stage I'm at with my mentorship, all I care about is success stories. I want to get as many people results as I possibly can, because I know firsthand the benefits me scaling my online business gave me and the benefit mentors gave me. So my sole focus right now is to give the exact, as many people as I can, the exact same experience I had and the life-changing experience I had by building my online business. Okay. So in terms of investment options, okay, one-time investment is usually 5K for our program, and the program length is 6 months. And the goal within those 6 months is that you're making a minimum of 10K per month. As you can see from the results, 99% of our clients do get there. Okay. And again, for people on this call, I'm offering a one-time discount where you get €1,000 off if you sign up within 24 hours of this call. Because again, you came to this webinar, you took the value, you're clearly very serious about building your business. So again, I want to reward people. So instead of 5K, you get it for 4K for 6 months. Okay. And again, I'm going to justify why it's that price, because again, every single client in our mentorship, the average one sees a return on their investment within the first 30 days. As I said, with Steph, she went from 1K to 7K in the first month. Luke went from 0 to 4K in his first month. Okay. And many others made their investment back within the first 30 days. Okay. They kept scaling beyond that. And our average client adds 10.2K per month to their income by the end of the mentorship. So that's why the price is that. It's very, very affordable compared to what you're going to make. Okay. What I like to say to people as well, you do have to spend money to make money. You have to invest in yourself. Okay. But it will be worth it. Okay. Now, as I said, with the 1-to-1 nature of our mentorship, we can actually only take on 6 clients a month. Okay. Because again, my sole focus, giving the best service I possibly can to my clients, is what I spend all my days on. Okay. So we can only accept 6 new clients into the mentorship this month. And the next step from there is just booking a call. Again, with my calls, some of you probably been on calls with me before. It's a no pressure sales environment. I'm going to chat through your business, give you a strategy, explain what we can do for you, explain action steps to you, and then you can decide if you want to take the leap or not. Okay, so don't hesitate to book a call. It's not going to be high pressure. I'm just going to explain to you what we can do for you. And then if you want to go for it, you can go for it. And we'll have a 1 hour kickoff call then if you did sign up. And if we're not 100% sure we can scale to 10 to 20K per month, we won't accept you into the mentorship. If we got in a call with you, okay, and I saw, okay, maybe he's not that serious, or maybe she's not that serious, I wouldn't accept you in, because again, I want clients who want to get results. Okay, I want to build people's businesses and get results. Okay, so there's also a results-based guarantee. Okay, and if you don't see the results that you want, there is a 100% money back guarantee, and I'm fully promised that, because I know for certain if you let me to help you, you will get there. Okay, every coach that goes through our mentorship and follows what we tell them gets real life-changing results. And again, you could even ask any coach in my mentorship about my service; they'll all tell you the exact same thing, that I went above and beyond, and they got the results that they wanted. Okay, so quick disclaimer, the reason our results are so good is because we are extremely strict who we let inside the mentorship. If you're not a killer, if you're not ready to put in the work and implement what I teach you on a daily basis, you simply won't be accepted into the mentorship. As I said, it's a results-focused mentorship. I want to change people's lives, and if someone's going to come in, take my attention away from my clients who are very serious, unfortunately, I just wouldn't accept them into the mentorship. Okay, because my number one priority is getting you the best result possible because I know it's going to benefit you. And selfishly as well, if I build more of these businesses, it's going to help me build my reputation as a mentor. So I'm very, very strict on who I let on in the mentorship. Okay, so again, some more frequently asked questions. Again, if anybody does have any questions in the meantime, feel free to fire them in the chat. I want people to leave with as much value as they possibly can, so don't hesitate to ask any questions if you do have them. But a question we have a lot is what if it comes to finances? And that's completely understandable. I know it's a big investment, but we do have plenty of options available when it comes to finances to make it possible. We have payment plan options and also funding partners for you if needed. Again, if you don't have enough time, even as you see with some of our clients, they start part-time, working 9 to 5 jobs. With the right strategies, you can get results extremely fast without hours and hours of work. And then you can leave your job and put all your focus on online coaching business and actually have free time. Okay. If you're not great with tech, again, I'm going to use the example of Luke. If you're not great with tech, that's not an issue. Even me, literally 7-8 years ago, I barely knew how to use a laptop. So again, we'll solve that problem for you. We'll teach you everything you need to know. And again, I'm brand new. Can this really work for me? Some of our most successful clients, again, like Luke, started from zero, and you saw the success that he had. Okay. And what if I already have a fitness business? Perfect. Again, if you're already smashing it, we'll still have a chat with you. We'll still go over what you can do better. Okay. And again, some coaches came to us already with a coaching business, do 2 to 3K per month. And again, if you have that base already, we'll be able to scale you very, very quickly. So again, that's a very good position to start with us with. Okay. And then final call, as I said, only 6 new clients are being accepted into mentorship every single month because of the one-to-one nature. Okay, if you take action in 24 hours on your call, you'll get the €1,000 one-time discount, and you can book your strategy call now. And my head coach, Ted, who works with me, is going to pop in a Calendly link into the chat. And if anybody wants to book in a call with me for tomorrow, you can have a call with me. Okay, and as I said, the bonus is you'll have a private 1 hour one-to-one call with me. You'll get the 7-figure sales funnels, the fitness scaling calculator, and also the education platform access, as well as all the bonuses too. Okay, so what I would say again, obviously, you knew I was going to say this, but do not let another 6 months go by where you don't take action. Because again, if you're on this call, you're very, very serious about building a coaching business, you just lack the strategy needed. And you're 6 months away, even less in some cases, for completely transforming your life. So if you want to click the link, which Ted sends to the chat to book your call, click the link, book a call on me. As I said, it'll be a no pressure sales environment, and I'll just go over your business, give you a strategy, and show what we can do for you. Okay, and that's basically everything, guys. So I'm going to leave the floor open now for anybody to ask me any questions that they do have around coaching or anything, and I'll get back to you all then if questions come in. But again, hope you took some value from that. Okay, so feel free to ask me any questions. If no one has questions, I can finish this up. But again, any questions, simply ask me. Okay, and Ted's going to send in the Calendly link to book a call if you do want to book a call. Okay. Going to run through the questions there now. Daryl Larry, my coaching donates 10% of every charge into building water wells in the third world countries. We provide videos of where their work has been done. Is it worth including this in my bio, or does the muddy the waters, and should I keep it coaching only? So I'd actually use this as an example on your consultation calls rather than in your marketing, because again, if it's in your marketing, it's a great thing to do, but I wouldn't use it as a selling point. I'd rather mention that to people in private on a sales call if you were to do that. Okay, but it's a great thing you're doing and fair play to doing for that. Well done, but I wouldn't put it in your marketing. I'd rather save that to share it in private on sales calls. Okay, because it's a great thing you're doing. So 100%. I wouldn't do it in your marketing, but I do it in your sales calls 100%. I wouldn't have it in your bio, no. Any more questions? Feel free to keep firing them in, guys. I've no bother staying longer than what I need to. Even after the call anyway, if anybody has any questions in the group chat, feel free to pop them in and I'll get straight back to you. But if no one has any questions now, I'll wrap this up. Okay. Perfect. What is anyone coming in? MJ asked, so Matthew said, yeah, would you agree? Would you have to agree a certain amount of weight dropped beforehand, for example? So no, you wouldn't have to agree a certain amount of weight dropped before, because again, let's say, for example, see, everybody's body's different. Everybody's body's going to respond differently. But if you promise them they're going to lose weight and get to their goal, they'll have to lose weight. You wouldn't have to promise an exact number because, again, that's impossible to estimate. Okay, so if I told you you're going to lose 20 pounds in 90 days, but your body responded differently, I couldn't control that. What you will promise them is that they'll achieve a fat loss transformation. Okay, you can't put an exact number on it. It'd be like me telling you you'll 100% add 10.5K to your business. But I do guarantee is that if you stick to it for the 6 months, you'll have an online business which generates 6 figures per year. Okay, so you would have to put an exact number on it, more so just like a direct outcome. So a fat loss transformation, a muscle building transformation, okay, rather than the exact number, because again, that's nearly impossible to predict. And again, it should be giving someone false hope and being unrealistic with them. Okay. And again, you never want to give a client false hope because again, if they do get into it, you did promise them exactly 20 pounds and they lost 19, you'd want to be able to claim a money back guarantee for that. Okay. So rather just give them an outcome in terms of a fat loss transformation rather than the exact amount of weight they'll lose. Okay. Perfect. Sweet, guys. So I think that's all the questions. Okay, and I hope again that you took some value from this live webinar. Again, I'm going to pop the recording into the group chat after this call so you can all watch over it and again take more value from it in case you missed anything. But feel free to ask me any question in the group chat after this call. And again, if you are interested in signing up to the mentorship, Ted will leave a link in the group chat and also in this chat if you want to book in for a call and avail of those bonuses. We'd be delighted to have you on board. And again, it'll be no pressure sales involved, but I'll make sure you leave that call with just as much value as you left today's call with.